Hey, good morning, Bob Trade Genius. Weekend of July 21st. I'm going to start futures, then I'm going to go into binary options, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you why August is going to be a wild and incredibly profitable month. And so let me just start here. And China is part of that. So yesterday, well, I guess it's Thursday now, today's Saturday morning, we knew because of Trump's comments that we expect some action out of China, and we suggested to our subscribers that trade binary options to get short overnight on the U.S. 500, and lo and behold, within a half hour of that signal, when China opened they usually open at 6 p.m. Pacific time, it just rolled over like a rock, and we actually covered right here. And so we had a quick trade. And just as an aside, we're for the US 500, we're 24-9. We started this in June, and our average net of loss is about 20% on risk capital. So about $20 per contract written, which is about a 400% return over the year. So we covered that, and then we don't trade overnight. I don't trade overnight normally, even futures. And then what was interesting to me is these green arrows here. This is our slingshot. This is something a program that we wrote that looks at overdone moves that the algos like to then reverse. And we don't normally get them that work overnight, but it was such a clean night. I don't trade these, so just to let you know. So, but I was really surprised. They had a pop here, and then we had another sell-off when the U.S. guys got to their desks in the East Coast. They had another slingshot. Now, after 5:30 in the morning my time, I absolutely start looking for areas of either is the market going to roll over or is it going to be rocketing. And they rolled it down, and what I first noticed was they didn't make a new low, and we had another slingshot. And this is where, if you're trading futures or binary options, you go long in the slingshot, you set a stop, and you let it go. And in this case here is you have three choices really to trade out. You could have took this trade, and you could have took out on VWAP. You could scale out, or you can just run a stop up. But typically, when you get a slingshot, the move is at least 5 to 10 points. So you're talking, basically $250 to $500 here, and it shot up. And now, one thing too, when you trade futures, just so everybody know, there's an 84% chance that it's going to test the overnight low, or on the high side, and then you look to be able to fade that in, and it didn't go for the overnight low, so you have to assume they're going to go for the overnight high, which was right here, and I'll get to that in a second. So here, this trade here, if you just would have ran it up, now I'm too much of a chicken to just let it run and roll, so I took profit pretty quickly, but this signal is so reliable, at least 5 points, I'll let it run. And if you're trading binary options, right here you can get heavy and let it go. You could trade this on the 2 hour. You could have did the 7 a.m. Or 10 a.m. East Coast trade and do it at the money, and your day's done. And so we got up to the double top here. And one thing too, a couple things for your trading notes is on OPEX days, this day actually, it looks like there's a lot of action, but it usually tries to fade back to where it opened. And so when it pushed up and Europe is closed, and we caught the double top and it came back in, we actually then short it, or put a sell order in on the binary options, and we rolled it down. So we had another winner on Friday as well. So this is part of our trade. And there was no real futures trade here unless you wanted to play that move in. I didn't have anything of interest to me. So two nice trades. They both were at our average price of win, and so we're quite happy with that. So that was Friday, and and this is very typical. So you get these slingshot moves. I've been pointing them out all week, and like I said, we're running we're running specials, and just show you here, you know, really fast that we this one right here is you get the money machine, and then you can buy an annual service for $29 a month and be in the trading room with us for $300. The trades I showed you this week were all probably 2,000, 2,500 between ES and oil, and so definitely is a money machine. I wrote it for myself. I needed visual clues like everybody else to give me courage and commit, you know, to make the commitment to the trade, and I love it, and I share it with you guys, and it runs on Thinkorswim, and you can buy it and own it and start making money from it. I really, really, really love it. I'm getting more excited, and as volatility increases, this thing is going to be just literally, it's just going to be a printing press for you guys. So I would seriously consider getting it. We're running a special to the end of the month, so for $300, you'd have made that on Friday. I showed you Thursday where you'd have made that. I showed you Wednesday, etc., etc. FYI. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you some really cool charts. And I'm going to start off with Bitcoin. Phil talks Bitcoin, but I just want to show this to you because people are trying to figure out what's up with Bitcoin. Why is it doing what it's doing? Is it all over and blah, blah, blah. Look, the macro is fine. And I'll let Phil pitch to all that. I just like to look at correlations and trends, and I can really care less about the news. And this thing has been going down, 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 basically since, you know, another April top. And before that, we had the December top. And right here, when it got down to this area here, people are saying Bitcoin's going to $3,000. Remember that crowd? But what I noticed was something different, and Phil noticed it too. Let me show you what I think has been driving the Bitcoin, and this is the euro against the dollar. And if you notice, the euro stopped going down against our dollar, and Bitcoin stopped going down against our dollar. And I think if you look at the euro, I think the euro is providing the suppression here. So it looks like it's the London traders that seem to suppress everything in the world. They make our New York bankers look tame. Obviously a bunch of crooks there, but they can't hold this thing down anymore. And then they've doubled it up with the yen, and the yen same way. And if you look at SPY, and I'll show that to you in a second, the yen has been on a freight train down. And you know, all this trade talk, and they've just been pushing the dollar higher and higher and higher. And basically Trump's like, no mas, we're done. And for those who think Trump's being irrational on this thing, he's not. Our Federal Reserve is asleep at the switch, or more nefarious, trying to break our economy. And so he said, no more. This is just getting to the point of being ridiculous. And so boom, that broke here too. And if you notice, then let's see here, SPY to the, here we go, Bitcoin to SPY, okay, it's turning now too. So Bitcoin's rocketing up, and just looks like Bitcoin to the dollar, doesn't it? So Bitcoin's now truly a currency. And so my expectation is that that this whole thing with the SPY, this thing that they ran up, and I'll get to that right now, is this whole move here, this March to April, this down move right here, is all been contrived by currency, and now it's starting to get a little toppy here, and I trade, you know, the thing that I trade obviously is I trade the US 500, you trade the ES, and then I also trade SPY puts and calls. You got to specialize in something, and the rest of the stuff is that, as everybody well knows, like silver miners, and I think that's going to be the big move. Is that you know, every time our indicator here, this is another oscillation that we have, is it's topped and it's rolled over, okay. And so my expectation now is for it to come back down. I don't know how far. I don't know if this up move is done for good, you know, because I don't know what they're going to do with the currencies. But going into August through September is the volatility picks up. And once volatility picks up, that's a funding source that goes away. The euro is a funding source that goes away, and the yen is a funding source that goes away. And I think it's going to cause some great headwinds here in the stock market. And plus, people talk about, there's the thing with the skew. The skew means is how much are people willing to pay for out of the money option protection. Basically, they call it tail risk. It's just really things that they worry about, that if something blows up, it's almost like a lotto, or a protection against catastrophic loss in their portfolio. Well, it's at max, literally max. And I think people are worried that Powell will raise rates again in August, which he will. He's not going to let Trump browbeat him on this one. Now, and I don't think that was Trump's intent. I think he's saying, hey, after this one, you better be done. And I think it's going to cause some dislocations in the market because people can't deal with the higher interest rates. If you see the home starts crashing, okay? So it's getting to the point where you're just running out of people because they're running out of credit. And so I'm looking for this move down. Now, if we break this low, then it's Katie bar the door. But I'm still looking for an oscillation. I've been looking at 276, and I'd be delighted if I get it. I'm running 279 puts, and I've been selling against it all week. The other thing that you need to keep in mind, and I'm going to flip over to here on SPY, is the SPY weekly, is the fourth week of every month. At least by the fourth week of every month, you have a sell-off in the stock market. Some big, some small, but it's the way they've been operating with these options. Okay, so they've been waiting for OPEX to end. They drop the market in the fourth week, and then they just grind the algos into the OPEX again, and that's just been kind of the way they've been working it. And now we're at a point where we're coming to the fourth week again with super high skew, and August is a very volatile month, and the currencies are turning. So I'm waving the red flag, and my expectation is that we will have a down week. And this week here was pretty much a doji. It didn't go down as much as I thought it would. I was looking for a 1 to 2% move. Just didn't happen. But, that's why you hedge, and that's why you day trade, so you can still make money if your thesis doesn't play out. And my thesis is still looking for a down move. They couldn't get it up to this double top. Now, I'm not saying they won't. I think these algos are determined, but we'll see if people sell into it. And now I'm going to flip over to the miners here real quick, because I think this is going to be an incredible move here. We're back into AG, and I bought this gap down, and it's still coming back down. And so I'm not worried about First Majestic at all. This has been one heck of a move, which is really weird that it's been operating the same way as everybody else. It's kind of been a risk on trade, but I still love First Majestic. And when when this thing moved in 2015, 2016, it was a 400% move, and I suspect it's going to move with it. This could be suffering from a little bit of a currency hiccup with because it's a Mexican miner. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I own it. I'm keeping it. And then we have GG. GG's made its turn, and I'm looking for this thing to move higher. Just a trade at the moment. And then I want you guys to consider Dusk again. It broke out of the channel. And the thing about these ultras, you get a break out of the channel, comes back into the channel. We're getting a rollover on the oscillators. These are momentum oscillators. Is that now I think we can look for a move down again on Dust. And you can see it with GDX. GDX broke out of the channel and popped back up. GDXJ hit the channel, popped back up. So I think there's a minimum of tradable low here with everything. So so my view over the next 7 weeks is looking to get long miners and buy dips, looking to be long volatility, which I closed my VXX puts out on Friday, and looking to get short the main markets. And then Phil could tell you on the crypto side, but we had a really nice trade on Bitcoin, and I don't think Bitcoin is going to go down and may consolidate, and then I think it's going to take its next leg higher, and I think it's going to follow the euro. So anyway, thanks for listening. Have a great day, and I'll look up some other things and point some other things out later. But check us out, and also tomorrow, Bob and Phil show 4 p.m. on Sunday, and on the YouTube channel, no charge. Thanks. Bye.